Let's go to Tim in Boston, Massachusetts. What's up, Tim? How we doing?
Hey, how we doing, Dr. John Delony? Thanks for having me on the show.
You got it, my brother. What's happening?
Wanted to give you a call, get your advice. Recently had a life sort of situation occur that I don't have too much experience with. I recently lost my brother-in-law to suicide. And
Man. How old was he?
yeah, he was 40 years old.
How old?
40.
40. What was his name? If you don't want to say, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Okay, you got it. That's fine. Man. Is this a surprise to everybody, or has he been ill for a while?
Yeah, I think it was sudden. It was a surprise, yeah. But I wanted to give you a call because obviously my sister, along with a lot of other people, currently in a moment of grief, grieving. And
this is, by the way,
I'm
Tim,
close.
This isn't a moment of grief. This won't be a moment of grief. This will ricochet through the rest of everybody's life. Okay?
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Man, I'm so sorry.
Thanks. I am too. And very, very sad situation. Yeah. And I just want to make sure I'm there for my sister. Mm-hmm. I know her and I are very close, and during this hard time, obviously I said previously on the call, I don't have a lot of experience with this. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure, I'm doing my part and everything I can to support my sister. Yeah. She's going through this really hard time. And, I've never been married before. I don't have kids. And there's another, piece that is a little bit more complex. At the time of his death, they were currently going through a divorce. So I know she's dealing with all of those emotions as well. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just looking for, I've read a couple articles online on how to deal with, losing family members to suicide, and, certain things to say to somebody, when they're grieving, or certain things you shouldn't say. Just trying to open up my mind and educate myself as much as I can.
You're a good brother, Tim.
Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're a good brother, man. She's blessed to have you. Is she live in the same community as you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of give you a rundown of what I've told people for years showing up in this exact situation, okay? And then stop me at any point and ask further or deeper questions here, because there's going to be people listening to the show and saying, yeah, but what about, so feel free to stop me. I can talk too much and too fast in these moments, so stop me and say, what about this, okay? And then when we get to the end, I'll leave you with a little bit of wisdom that I've learned the hard way. First is basic body stuff. You have to eat. You have to sleep. You've got to move. Okay. Often in grief, we just shut the system down, or really our system pulls us underwater for survival. And it's really important to have people around you that are saying, hey, have you eaten today? Or better yet, just send food. And so it also is caretakers. That you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Some people, when they get in this moment, like really hard workouts feel good. I'm not one of those people. When I'm grieving, I have a tendency to sit, and a 60-minute hard blow it all out workout actually drags me down. But I do need to go for long walks a couple of times a day. Okay. So whatever works for you, take care of your body. Even if you got to set up some accountability, someone's going to call you and check on you. Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to need that too. And if that's you, if that is a friend of hers, I don't know who has the closest connection to her, but somebody who will call and make sure there's food at that house at all times. Somebody who's showing up saying, I'm showing up for us to go for a walk. And there may be days you show up to go for a walk and she's not getting out of bed. That's fine. That happens. But on the whole, somebody's going to keep showing up. Okay, you got that one?
Yep.
Okay. The second one is she cannot be responsible for your well-being. Okay. I can't overexpress this enough. um, people who get cancer, people who lose a parent, people who, have somebody who passes away suddenly. Suddenly, their friends and family are calling them all the time, crying, can't breathe. What do I do? And they find themselves having to take care of everybody else. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So don't if you ever feel like your needs are being met by her, that's a burden that I don't want her to carry right now. Okay? She can't be your tool for recovery. And so uh, here's another example. You calling every day and saying, "Hey, do you need me to come mow your yard? Do you need me to come do this? Do you need me to come do this?" Eventually that can become a way for you to avoid grieving by just trying to be busy, by just trying to do stuff. And it puts her in the position to have to make a bunch of decisions. Don't do that. Just show up and mow the yard. Okay? Just show up and mow the yard. And show up with food. Make cookies and just bring them over. Do those things without putting the burden of, should I? Do you want me to? What else can I it's so disorienting. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, you, my brother, have to grieve. And if you've never done that before, here's a couple of easy steps into that. 1, I want you to write this dude a letter. Probably a couple. Maybe one that tells you how mad you are. And it might be you were mad way before he passed away. It might have been mad the way he treated your sister, that he was getting a divorce, that he cheated on her, whatever the things were, okay? This feels weird because when somebody dies, we often don't want to think or say anything negative, and we bury that part. That part still is fully alive and functional. So just wallpapering over the bad stuff isn't helpful during grief. You got to own it all. So write a letter, tell him how mad you are. Write a letter that you're mad that he hurt your sister. Even though you know he was sick, you're mad that he hurt your sister. Write him a letter and tell him how much you miss him and you liked laughing with him. And remember that one time. Write him a letter and tell him, I'm going to take care of your wife, my sister. I'm going to honor your memory. Right? Let him know what the future is going to look like. And what you're doing for your body is you're letting your body cycle all this stuff through. This is a physiological experience. This is a spiritual experience. This is a psychological experience, okay? These things are exhausting and they're annoying. Sometimes there'll be tears. Sometimes you'll just be angry. Sometimes they'll just be like, I have no feeling at all. And write that down. When I think about you, I have no feeling at all. We're just getting back in touch with our bodies. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. And mind if I interject?
Absolutely.
I think it was your point too there. So in terms of the whole being responsible for my well-being, that's one of the things I'm currently struggling with. I'm her younger brother, so I feel like sometimes between siblings there can be that dynamic of like, always protecting the younger one if you're the older sibling. And I feel like that's showing up already within the first week here. And I have trouble, I don't want to tell her what she should and shouldn't be doing. But for example, if I'm upset, and I've been through a couple moments with her in the first week so far where I was there when certain emotional things were happening in live time, and I was there visiting with her to make sure she was okay. Just, dealing with everything that's going on right now, not to name specifics. But so, in other words, when she sees me upset, she's always comforting me. In other words, I got to right now I'm trying to not be upset around her.
No. Don't take that from her. Let her take care of you.
Yeah.
Don't force it. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're with her and you start weeping and she gets up to make you tea and chicken noodle soup, whatever her thing is, let her do that. That's part of her healing and grieving process. She doesn't need to just sit and be and feel like she has no utility, that she's not useful in any way. What you don't want to do is show up and throw a bunch of burdens on her. And I realize I may be talking out of both sides of my mouth, but let her direct the healing that comes.
Got it.
Don't put the extra responsibility on her. Does that make sense? And don't go over there and act like a robot. Because at some point she'll feel crazy that her life still feels like the bottom fell out and everyone else is just laughing and hanging out and has just kind of moved on. It's disorienting. And so if you're sad, tell her you're sad. If you're heartbroken, tell her you're heartbroken. Just don't give her the job to fix it. If she chooses to lean in, great. And you might have to say at some point, hey, stop, sit down, right? Let me take care of you for a while. That may be a conversation y'all have. And I mean, you're not going to get this right all the time, and that's fine. That's fine. There is the brother-sister roles, man, and the birth order roles. I mean, that just happens, right? That leads me, though, to the next thing. By the way, these letters you write, she's going to need to do this too. And maybe y'all read them to each other if y'all are super close. Or if y'all have got other brothers and sisters and y'all are super close, y'all get together and y'all all write a letter to this guy. And you read it out loud. And you grieve together. That's grief. That's an incredible way to do it. It's cathartic and healing most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. You're right on with the last thing I would tell you. And that is, dude, just show up. Just show up. Say way, way, way less than you think. Okay? You don't need answers. You don't need solutions. You don't need cheap nonsense stuff that people stitch into pillows about how God needed an extra angel or bullcrap like that. When she starts crying or screaming or weeping or saying, it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault, or whatever, often the greatest thing you can do is reach over and grab her hand and pull her close to you. Okay?
Got it. Yeah.
And man, we want to solve these problems with our words so bad. And we just start talking and saying the stupidest things. Have you done that? I'm the worst. The worst about that.
No, I haven't done that just yet, but there's definitely been, I've been around it while it's been happening, but I haven't done anything to I'm a pretty quiet person in general, so.
Good for you. You've got a lot to teach me. Good for you. It may be that you play the role of protector when somebody else starts, like a well-meaning mother or aunt is like, well, you can say, hey, let's not right now. And it can be awkward and it can be weird, but play some defense for your sister. She doesn't need to hear that. She doesn't need to hear other people running their mouths to try to make themselves feel better at her expense.
Right. Okay.
It can be hey, not right now. Not right now. Right now is just hugging time. Right now is just hand holding time. We have a casket to select. We've got songs to select. We've got health insurance policies to deal with and life insurance policies to deal with and mortgage and car notes. We've got all this crap to deal with, lawyer bills. Not right now. Not right now. Right now, we're just holding hands. We're just hugging. And also showing up, again, it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I hope I'm being clear. Just show up and mow the yard. Or hire somebody. Show up and bring a casserole over. Grab a burger and grab a second one and bring it over. And say no words. And that burger may sit on the counter and she won't eat it. And that's fine. She'll remember my brother kept showing up. And my brother kept showing up. And my brother kept showing up. And eventually you become, it's going to sound woo-woo and all gooey and gross. You become part of her nervous system, somebody she can rest into. Her body can begin to relax finally because she knows she's got a tribe. She's got a gang. She's got people that keep showing up. How does that sound?
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Great advice. Appreciate it.
And maybe if you can show up and just go for a walk with her and just walk next to her or walk her dog with her or hold her hand or whatever your relationship is together. This is a long haul, and especially in a divorce, I can imagine the guilt will be 10x. Like she played some kind of role in this. Who knows what's in some sort of letter. This is just a messy, messy, messy time. Show up, show up, show up. Say less than you think. Take care of your body. Don't use her to make yourself feel better, and you make sure you're taking care of your grief. You might have to see a counselor. You might have to go hang out with your parents. You might have to call a couple of your buddies. You may have to write some letters to him who's passed away. Whatever it is, you're going to have to sit in the discomfort for a season. My promise to you is it will pass. It won't go away. You're always going to miss this, dude. You're always going to remember this time. But it won't feel like your body's on fire. For her, it's going to be painful for a long, long, long time. And hey, this is important. In about a month, when the adrenaline's worn off and the calls stop coming and the Facebook messages stop coming and the flowers stop coming, your sister's home is going to feel like a cave. It's going to feel like a hole is swallowing up that home. And those are the moments when all the cheering has gone away and all the lights have gone away and all the community has left and gone back to their lives. And your sister's looking around her room trying to clean up the ash. That's when little brother can show up. Again. Some nachos, a burger, a lawnmower, no words, no little special Tony Robbins sayings or anything. Just showing up, hands outstretched. I'm here. And I love you. And I'm not going anywhere. She's lucky to have you, my brother.